So hey guys, this is Kenesha with your Thought for Thursday. Today I want you to focus on emotional healing. So everything I do with Very Thoughtful Life Coaching is about helping people overcome the emotional wounds of the past that is affecting their life today. The thing about these emotional wounds, okay, where do they come from? When we're young, typically we're having experience or experiences that we as a young child try to process, and so we create up our own meaning, thought, or belief about the experience, but it's always a reflection of us. So like you've heard people say their parents divorced at a young age. I mean, their parents got a divorce when they were young, and they somehow thought it was their fault. That's what I mean when I say we have an experience, and as young children, when we try to process it, we give it a meaning that creates this emotional wound in ourselves. So our parents, I believe, all of us, and I know some of us have had some really bad experiences. And some of us have had some really great experience with parents. However, I think all of our parents do the best they can at the time. And here's the truth, guys. If you're listening to this and you're a parent, you've done the best you could. I've done the best I could. But I'm going to still create in my children some emotional scars, intentionally or unintentionally. Most likely not intentional. It's just something happens, like you have this experience with your child or in life, and the children create for themselves sometime what that experience means. And oftentimes the experience may tell them they're not good enough, they're not loved enough, they're not pretty enough. Just all of these I'm not enough messages get attached to our experiences, and then we spend our life and then every other relationship trying to heal that wound. The worst part about trying to heal this wound is oftentimes we're not even aware that we have it. So we're trying to heal a wound that we're not aware of. Therefore, we're using all the wrong things to heal it. So there's this message that's attached to our heart and our head, and it gets so buried sometimes we're not even aware that we're carrying the message that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. We just carry this I'm not enough message. And then it shows up in our relationships. So the way it shows up in our relationships is it shows up in desperation. So we're so desperate trying to find and connect ourselves to someone or something that will convince us that we are enough. And if it won't convince us that we're enough, we want it to at least quiet or silence the thought and the belief. And I know some of you guys are listening and you're like, oh my God, I know what she's talking about. That's that part. That's the area that I want you guys to seek to heal. And the reason it's so important that you heal that area is because it's showing up in your life in some very negative ways. It's showing up with overeating. You're overly dependent on people. Some of us are smothering emotionally and mentally, draining and smothering our spouses because we are at them at all times to fill this void and this need that we have that they are not capable of filling. You probably haven't even been able to articulate to them that you need this thing, all because it most of the time it just sounds like what I feel, and it doesn't feel, and it becomes this play in your head about how you don't feel good enough, you don't feel smart enough, but you won't even say those words. It's just this emptiness of insecurity, sometimes failure, self-conscious. So it's just ruling your life, and you're drawing or pulling at people in your life to feel this. They can't. They can't. And what's worse is, like I said, you're not even articulating to yourself or to them that this is what's happening. This is why I want you guys to get emotionally stable and healed. what is the difference? What does it look like to be emotionally healed and emotionally wounded? I share with you guys from my personal experience. When I walked around with my wound of insignificance and not enough, everything I did I questioned. I didn't think anything I did was good enough. I mean, I had an amazing career as a graphic designer in television. I was getting promoted time and time again, but I was questioning everything. I'm not good enough. I'm a fraud. I don't, I never thought my work was good enough. I did not have confidence on my job. Other people saw my work and they was like, oh, this is great, but oh no, it's not as good as it should be. But also I couldn't take critiques. I'm a graphic designer. That's what my life was all about. I took everything personal. I wanted to, hide and blame, and they don't understand me. Like, I had a story to go along to make myself feel better about, simply because I was walking around carrying this message. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Now that I've healed in a lot of areas of my life, and I'm still the thing about healing is an ongoing process. But the wonderful thing about being in the awareness of, once you learn you learn the wounds, you learn how to identify the wounds and what they are and what it is that you need and what's driving you, then you can make better decisions. Like, personally right now, I think my design work is at a whole different level. And you guys know I only design if someone needs me to do a logo or for my own flyers for my events, because for me, the life coaching, this is my heart. This is why I am now. So design is still a passion and I do love it. But lately it seems like my design work is top notch. And I don't know if it changed or if just because I change it, I perceive it differently. But that's what I'm talking about. So even in your relationships, when you are operating from a whole heal place, you can allow your spouse or your significant other to tell you things that you need to work on without getting so defensive. That will make the marriage better, that will make the relationship better. You can hear their heart instead of feeling attacked, because your wound is no longer open. And so now you hear with the love that you should be hearing with, instead of hearing trying to get love. So many of us, we love, or we try to love, or say we love someone, but everything we do for that someone is done with a motive. Well, I did this for you and you ain't do this, and I called you, why you ain't called me back? Like, the insecurity of everything, that is your open wound. And so when you are feeling this way, and when you are constantly frustrated, disappointed, upset, angry all the time, that is your soul saying to you, I want to be healed. That's your soul saying, I am tired of this. We shouldn't argue with people every day. We shouldn't be frustrated every day. Our bills shouldn't always be like we fighting and scratching to pay bills. That is a life that is broken and wounded, that is crying out to be healed. When you are healed, or at least on your way to healing, you make better decisions. I promise you, your decisions are wiser. You're very clear about your intentions. You know that, guess what? You're not even attached to the outcome. So you know the reason, if I'm doing something from a love place and no one ever tells me thank you, it's okay. It doesn't affect me, because I didn't do it. I didn't do the nice thing or the kind thing or show, to help someone with a motive. I just did it because I genuinely wanted to do something kind, nice, or loving. If I do something for my husband now from a happy, healed place, I don't have any expectations that he has to do something back or he needs to acknowledge it. There are times I think it, but it's okay when he doesn't, because when you're healed, you're clear about, like, okay, like, I'm clear about who I am. I'm clear about what I need. I can speak what I need. If I don't get it, I can handle it. It's just a whole different level of living. So if you're ready to live a healed life, instead of one full of hurt, pain, and frustration, but you're really ready for love, peace, joy, which is available to each and every one of us, contact me. Contact me via email or on my Facebook, and let's talk about the wounds that you're carrying, how they're affecting your life, and let's move into the process of getting you some getting those wounds healed so that you can have a fulfilled, joyful life. This is Kenesha Berry with BerryThoughtfulLife.com. I hope you have a wonderful and thoughtful Thursday. Bye-bye.